In this video, I'm going to run through the last two parts for the ENGR 1025U Lab2a. So we'll create the hinge pin and the fastener pin. First, we'll start with part. Then we'll create a sketch on the front plane this time. We'll create a corner rectangle to make a thin vertical rectangle like that. We'll then create another rectangle 90 degrees to that. We'll create a smart dimension here at the top of 5 millimeters. We'll set this thin rectangle height. There we go. Okay, we'll set that as 2 millimeters. We'll set the width of this long rectangle as 2.5 millimeters, and then we'll set the height as 70. So what we're doing in this sketch is creating the profile, which will then revolve to make our hinge pin. Now, because we have these intersecting lines at the top of our sketch, we're going to have to clean them up in order to revolve this feature. Okay, there we go. So we'll go to trim entities, trim to closest, and we're going to cut these unnecessary lines in the center. Now, SolidWorks has been a little finicky with me in this aspect. Sometimes it works with just these cuts made. Sometimes you'll have to delete the overlapping lines here. So what you don't see is the fact that right here, okay, now it's gone. But because we created this rectangle originally along the lines that were here, there is an overlap between the first rectangle and the second rectangle. SolidWorks doesn't really like overlapping lines like that, so you may have to delete those lines and then reconstruct a new line in order for it to work. So we can just do that simply by grabbing the line, and we'll have to do that as well on the left side here. Okay, so you can see here we have this overlapping line right there. We'll just delete that, and you can also use the extend entities tool to just replace any material that's been accidentally trimmed. So there we go. We'll then exit the sketch and fit our sketch here in our view. We'll then select the sketch, go to features, click revolve, and select the center of our sketch there as our axis. And we now have the complete hinge pin. What we'll do from here is go to File, Save As, save this as the hinge pin. Okay. We'll then go back to File, Save As, and save it as the fastener pin. Okay, just like this. Alright, now with the fastener pin still open, we're going to go back to our revolve feature and edit the sketch. We're going to edit this 70 millimeter height and change that to, I believe it's 50 millimeters. Yes, that's correct, 50 millimeters. Okay. We'll then exit the sketch. You can see that just by editing this sketch, it completely changes the feature, since that feature is based on that sketch. We'll now go back and save this file. So now we have a 50 millimeter tall fastener pin and a 70 millimeter tall hinge pin, but of similar profiles because they both have the same 5 millimeter width of the shaft there. We'll use these pins in the final assembly, so make sure you have the two of them saved correctly. Your fastener pin is 50 millimeters high and your hinge pin is 70 millimeters high, because when we use those in the assembly, we'll be referencing those names, fastener and hinge pin, and it's just easier for you guys to make sure that your pins are identical to mine. Once you're done that, click File, Save, and we'll move on to the assembly.